It's on. Oh, mine's off? Thank you.
First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
And hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler, as always. Thanks for joining us. We are live streaming on our social media apps. We're on our website. We're on the Fox 12 Oregon app, so lots of places to find us. But I have to tell you, I am very excited to talk about what we are bringing up right now, and that is the fact that it's Bat Week. Bat Week has started, a celebration of all things bats, education about bats, and a bat beauty contest. Everything bats is what we're talking about here at this segment. And joining us right now from the Bureau of Land Management, we have Emma Busk. Emma, thank you very much for being here today. I'm really glad this worked out to have you on. And I think, to start off, can you educate all of us about Bat Week?
I'm also really excited for Bat Week. But every year, the BLM hosts a Bat Beauty Contest. So they are in search of the best photo that kind of captures a unique and beautiful bat. But really, it's an opportunity to be able to educate people on the ecological and the economic services that bats really do provide to us. And yeah, I'm really excited. It also coincides with International Bat Week, so that it started yesterday on October 24th, and then it ends October 31st. So yeah, that's what we have going on.
It's really is an awesome event, to do this. And I think, just to go back and kind of dig into something that you said, just how important it is for bats. And I think the education side of that, for letting people know, can you maybe go into a little bit more detail, just how important this is and what some things are that people should really be aware of when it comes to bats?
Yeah, so all of our bat species here in Oregon are insectivorous, so they really help keep harmful insect populations in check. So a single bat here can eat more than 1,200 mosquitoes in one night, so it can eat up to 100% of its body weight. So they really prevent serious threats to ourselves, to our livestock, to our forests, and they save across the U.S. billions of dollars for farmers in crop damage and pesticide use. So they really contribute to our ecosystem services just here in Oregon. They play a very, very vital role.
How many different kinds of bats are there in Oregon?
We have 15 species, and then we have 13 species that are here in Southern Oregon. So William, our Townsend's big-eared bat, is actually listed as a state-sensitive species. And so we, yep, there she is. So she is actually a female, and she is a part of a maternity colony that we're monitoring last year. Townsend's big-eared bat will form these maternity colonies in the spring before they have their pups. And so unlike other bats here in Oregon, Townsend's big-eared bats have these very specialized habitat requirements where they need this open space and tend to roost in caves. And so not disturbing bats when they're hibernating is definitely really important and will help keep Townsend's big-eared bat populations healthy and thriving.
And so you mentioned not disturbing them, when they are hibernating. What are some things that people can do, other than that, to help the bat populations and help make sure that everything's maintained correctly?
Sure. Yeah, great question. So in your own backyard, you can you can buy a bat house and you can mount it on the side of your house. You can mount it on a pole. Basically, it's a shelter that helps protect bats during the winter. And so, you can make your garden more bat friendly by planting native flowers and attracting insects and turning off any unnecessary lights. So light pollution is not great for bats. And if a bat does fly into your house, of course, we never encourage handling wildlife, but, always find a way to make sure that you can humanely remove it. Less than 1% of all bats carries rabies. And so it's really important that we make sure that we are fact-checking what we think we know about bats. Bat to human disease transmission is actually very uncommon. And so there's a lot of myths around bats, but they are just amazing. They're they're just amazing wildlife, and they contribute so much to our ecosystem and to our ecosystem services.
Which is why this is a great time of year to have this. I'm sure that's planned accordingly, to talk about that and educate about bats.
Yeah, for sure.
Emma, how did you become interested in bats? How did your career go to this part?
Yeah, I've been working with bats for about 4 years or so. And so, I've kind of moved through with desert tortoises. I worked in California, and like being able to work with bats and really learn as much as I can about, an often like overlooked species in a lot of ways. Like I think there's so much that people don't know about bats, and just being able to work with them and to learn a lot more about them and ways that we can help protect them, I guess really kind of inspired me, because like I said, they're sort of an overlooked creature, and yeah, they definitely deserve their spotlight like, other animals do.
Absolutely. Well, you're talking about the spotlight and the Bat Beauty Contest. I just wanted to talk about that just here for a minute to kind of dig into that. So tell me, what goes into a Bat Beauty Contest? What are the characteristics that you're judging?
I'm not particularly on the judging panel, but what I would assume contestants would basically try to capture in their bats would be, a species that's important to talk about. Like I said, our Townsend's big-eared bat here is listed as a state-sensitive species, and so the more we can talk about Townsend's big-eared bats, I always feel like the better. But really trying to capture, I think, personality. Like bats among every other animal have individual personalities among them, and trying to also capture what bats don't look like, typically in like media or like folklore, or having like a photo of a bat where it's just kind of existing, I think is also really important for the public.
Like
yeah,
this right
so
here.
this bat was just roosting in a cave, and it's in its natural environment, and I think that the more that we can really distribute photos of bats that aren't looking necessarily aggressive or anything like that, I think the more that we can really understand them and get to know bats a little better.
Yeah, this bat does not scare me in any way.
How could it? Look at those big ears. Oh, they're such cool bats. I mean, I don't know who wouldn't love that face. So.
Well, the contest I know goes through next week. So for that side of things, for everybody else out there, though, you mentioned some really good ideas that people could do to help out, with bats, whether it's putting up a bat house or just being cognizant of light pollution and everything that bats are doing. Where though can they go, and if somebody really wants to dig in and find more information and maybe even get involved more, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, you can search to look for local organizations that are doing. I know here in Oregon, Oregon State puts on or basically hosts auditory bat surveys. So you can actually volunteer to collect data on bats. So 2 of our bat species here in Oregon actually echolocate within the human hearing range. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to really hear bats. So you can actually participate in citizen science, but finding kind of local organizations or ways to participate in citizen science would be great. There's also some really great resources online. Conservation International has so much on where to buy a bat house, where to put it. You want to make sure it's south or southeast facing on your home to ensure the highest level of solar exposure. So there's great resources online, but if there's any way that you can get involved to help collect, any data with citizen science, it's always a great way to learn more about bats and how they move on the landscape.
Well, definitely a lot of options out there for people to get involved in. And I think one final question for you too: do you have a favorite bat?
Oh, that's so hard. I really do enjoy Townsend's big-eared bats. I don't know if I have a favorite, but sometimes, like throughout the season, it may change. I really do enjoy Townsend's Figured Bat. I love pallid bats. They are also listed as fate sensitive in Oregon. They're just really cool bats. They eat scorpions down in the desert, so their distribution is pretty wide. But the diversity among bats is just incredible. So it's really kind of hard to pick a favorite because you really get to see how they contribute to the ecosystem across the world. Like, we're just talking about insectivorous bats here in Oregon, but there are bats that pollinate and provide so many other ecosystem services. So yeah,
it's too hard.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's too hard. Yeah, I'll say Townsend's Figured Bat because that's what I'm rooting for this year. So
you have found your calling. 100%. Well, thank you very much for joining us here today. I mean, really appreciate it. And it's fascinating. You just gave so much great information for everybody to go out there too if they want to, help bats, just learn about bats. And of course, William Shakespeare. Oh, that's one other thing. Who came up with the name?
Our state office did. So
the state office did.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you just look at those ears, those massive ears that are used for funneling sound into their ear canal, like they're very, very specialized. Along with everything, along with many other species, they have everything has a function, and so those big ears, I'm sure, definitely played a role.
It says it all right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, again, thank you. Thank you for joining us here. I really appreciate it, and for everything that you do, and just letting everybody know. And have a great Bat Week.
Thank you. You too. Happy Bat Week.
All right. Thanks so much, and thanks to everybody too. Who's joining us here on Fox 12 Now. As always, appreciate you all being here. We get to have a lot of great conversations, interesting conversations, sometimes breaking news, depending on when that's happening. We'll be here for you with that too, all live streaming, so you can join us at any time. And we're going to take a quick break here coming up in about 15 minutes or so about 2 p.m. if you're watching live. I'll be joined by Saraya from AEW, All Elite Wrestling. Yes, Saraya, superstar wrestler. She is going to be here on the show talking about their trip here coming up to Portland and her career and all of that. So that's something that you can be a part of as well. So we will be live on Facebook and YouTube. We'll look at the comments. Maybe if there's something good, I might bring up that question. But definitely you could join in on the conversation with that too. So thanks for tuning in. Sign off here for just a little bit. We'll be back in a few. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.